So, wow, these two interviews on Grizzly Crime Channel blew my mind. Grizzly Crime Channel interviewed Nick Wren, who was the diver from Adventures with a Purpose, who found Kylie's vehicle underwater and identified that her body was in the vehicle, in the the hatchback of the vehicle. And also the diver from Checkit. That is the channel that found Kiely Rodni's laptop along with several other personal items that belonged to Kiely that floated out of her vehicle. We all saw the way that vehicle was extracted from the lake. I'm not going to say anything more about it because I'm hardly a professional in pulling a vehicle out of a lake, especially when the vehicle is the crime scene, especially when the vehicle is the environment in which a young girl may have died. But Nick and Checkit TV are going to tell you what they think about how everything went down. And guys, it just blew my mind to hear them talking about how much more they know about this case and when they'll be willing to release that information. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I gotta say that I was a little shocked by getting the info about the stuff that this random, paddleboarder guy found, and the, you know, how do I say this? If we were to do that recovery, we would have done it differently. But
Yes.
we were. That's fine. We're told, hey, you guys, you're done. Thank you. Now let the FBI and law enforcement step in and take it from here. And obviously there was something that happened there that they didn't double check after it was taken out. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I was a little shocked to see that those items were found and not recovered. Yes, and keeping it in the position that we found it would be another crucial way of keeping the evidence. And I don't know if you noticed, but when they recovered the vehicle, I noticed when they finally got it, when their tow truck was pulling it above the water, one of the windows was broken out that wasn't broken out when I dove on it the first time. So,
guys, Nick Wren, who did the original dive, when they located Kylie's car, just said that there was an additional window that was broken that was not broken when he did his first dive. What?
When I dove on it the first time. So, like I said, I'm not trying to knock on anybody. I'm just saying I would have, and I know our team would have done it slightly different to try to maintain as much integrity of that vehicle and the belongings as possible.
So now Nick is going to answer some of the questions that has been the topic of many a live stream about the Kiely Rodni case.
Passenger window is either broken out or rolled down. My guess is it was rolled down because I did not notice any broken glass. And even in the footage after reviewing it, I didn't see any broken glass. If that would have broke during it going into the water, more than likely you would see some evidence of broken glass around the vehicle or even in the vehicle. Now, if it broke before the vehicle went into the water, you might not see any evidence. However, you might see some inside the little slot where the window actually goes. And I didn't see any of that. That glass would have been from the window that broke when they were rolling the vehicle back over, because I didn't notice any in my complete 360 of the vehicle. I didn't notice any. The driver's window was broken when they pulled it out, and at least one of the rear view mirrors was broken off. Those were intact, if I remember right, when I was at water.
Okay. When I took video of it, it's almost like the vehicle was turned and it just perfectly smashed the glass, and then the vehicle turned again, and then the glass was left there. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'll post a picture of what I mean.
Yeah.
Then flip it, or is it when the vehicle went in there and did its first initial flip? I don't know.
It had to be when they flipped it, because the only windows, the passenger window was either down or broken out when I saw it, and the rear driver's side was halfway down. All others were intact. When it was pulled out of the water, that's when I noticed the driver's window was now broken out. You could see shards of glass in the corner of it.
Here's Nick's response when he's asked about the possible seatbelt hanging out of Kylie's vehicle.
Well, that is kind of weird. I'm not familiar with this particular make and model of a vehicle. Does it have seatbelts in the back for potential if there's people that sit in the very back, if that is part of a seatbelt, and how did it get there? Yes, that would be kind of suspicious. As we all know now that she was in the back of the vehicle. I also know that it's not just a guaranteed if somebody's found in the back of the vehicle that it's instantly foul play. However, when something looks out of place to you, you just know that. So it did look suspicious to me. That's about all I can really say. I'm not basing it off of past experience. I'm basing it off of just the way that whole weekend played out, the things I heard and what I saw. It seemed a little suspicious to me.
But there's another clue that maybe all of you guys might think is a lot more suspicious. It's not a weapon, but it's something that it's something else. It's we were able to, Kylee's grandpa was able to verify that it was in fact her laptop. So we did find. I'll show you guys everything we found. Everything you see, we have shown you, or everything we found, we've shown you. It's just a matter of more detail. As law enforcement releases more information, we have additional stuff that we are withholding, but we will release it. The authorities do have everything that we found. We're just not showing additional stuff that we found for very particular reasons, and we're waiting to see what they do. It's very interesting, and when you guys see it, but I can just tell you, I cannot release that information until the authorities release more information. But we will, as soon as they release more, we will release ours. We'll show you everything we can, and as soon as everything is done editing, you will see everything except for one last piece of the puzzle that we're holding.
I sent a message to the officer who came in to look for who took the call yesterday, I think it was. I asked him if they were sending a dive team out, and I got no response, so that's why I'm on.
Me actually pulling that laptop out, the duffel bag, there's some pretty harsh language there of how upset I was. You kind of have to come and do it your effing self,
So obviously I've thought of this too, because of the information that we received prior to our start of this investigation, and then where we found her, knowing that the police and the authorities had already searched this lake, and I believe they searched it on the Sunday after she went missing. So that would have only been, a day and a half after she was last seen. Mm-hmm. And so is there a possibility that they didn't miss the vehicle? The vehicle wasn't in the lake at that point. Absolutely a possibility. Am I familiar enough with what a person looks like in 2 weeks versus 12 days? Not at all. Is it going to look any different? Maybe not. So near as I can tell, the vehicle looked like it had been there at least a week, with the amount of just the way it looked to me. Mm-hmm. But I can't speculate any further than that. And sure, my mind's asking these same questions.
Yeah.
And very well could be that the vehicle wasn't in there when they first searched the lake. You can see on my emotions when I got up out of the water after finally, we confirmed that, this is most likely a vehicle. We've got a magnet stuck to it. Now somebody's got to go down and do the visual assessment. And of course, you saw what I saw there. And so when I come up, the emotions are not just from what I saw, but just the whole thing of in shock of, I just can't believe we were the ones that just found this. There's been so many people scour this lake, and how is this even possible? And now we have to inform the families. So, it was a lot of emotions going through my head at that moment. And that's why the look on my face and the way I was acting was the way it was. And then from the time we hooked the magnet onto it till the time I dove on it, I'm going to say there was almost a 2-hour period there, because at that point we had to be real discreet about it as to not alarm people. We actually had a person from the New York Post that was following us at that point. They were back at the boat ramp, so we had to be like, how are we going to move our whole team into position without alarming them? Because it's a media. As soon as the word gets out, this place is going to be crawling, and we don't want to provide any false hope or get the family there before we confirm it, because there's only one way to confirm it's the vehicle you're looking for, and that's to get in the water and physically see it. So it was about 2 hours by the time we got back to the boat ramp, discreetly maneuvered, loaded everything back up in our mobile dive unit, drove around to that particular point of the lake, park, Then I had to put my dive gear on and go back into the water. So it was early afternoon by the time we actually confirmed that it was her vehicle and that there was human remains inside.